is now mid-October 2019, and we are embroiled and enmeshed in an unbelievable tangle of emotional stuff, political stuff, all kinds of stuff. And when I say all kinds of stuff, I have never felt so torn. I have never felt so confused. I have never felt such a state of concern when it comes to political things. I have always said, whether or not the person that I voted for gets elected, I will support the leadership, because I know if the majority of people wanted this person in office, then the majority of people will be at ease, will be happy, will be supportive. This time I could not do that. I did my best to say, okay, I'll just hope that it will work out, that the person who was elected will enlist the aid of very wise people and very experienced people. It will be okay. I tried hard to believe that. It's not okay. The people making decisions, I don't believe, are the wisest and most experienced people. I am sharing my opinion, okay? Know that it's my opinion. I have done more research and more listening and more reading about politics now than I ever have before, because I think it's important to be well informed. I want to go back to pre-election, 2016, even 2015. As you know, I'm very active in the spiritual community and the shamanic community, and all of the spiritual teachers were saying, Hillary will get elected because it is the kindest path for all of us, the most compassionate path, and she treats people with dignity. Whereas the other candidate, Donald Trump, has been insulting and demeaning and, showing a lot of things about what was then current and his past that shows that he does not treat all people equally, and there were some recordings, as you know, that shows his opinion of women. However, the shamans would not answer, who do you think will be elected, in the same way. They said, whoever will provide the greatest opportunity for learning to the greatest number of people, that's who will get elected. Still, I thought, it couldn't possibly be Donald Trump, who's so mean-spirited and unkind and seems to foster and encourage other people to be unkind and mean-spirited. And I'm trying to be kind of careful with my words, but I didn't see that that was what happened. I agree that not everyone should fly off the handle and say, that's it, we're doomed, because I was hoping that he would surround himself with wise people that are kind and compassionate, and he would be almost like a minor player in all of this, that he would seek wisdom and counsel of people who would have the best interests of our country and all beings. I encourage people, since new elections are coming up, decide what's most important to you. I think that's how you find the spiritual in the political. For me personally, treating all beings in all places equally, compassionately, and lovingly. And when I say all beings, I mean animals, I mean the life force of the earth and the water and the skies, the elements. That's what's important to me. Look inside yourself and say, what's most important to me? It used to be education. As you know, I was a lifelong teacher, and education is still very high on my list of priorities. But right now, and maybe for the rest of my life, what is going to be number one in my criteria for who I want to choose to lead our country will be someone who cares about all people. I think the person in our presidency right now, Donald Trump, does not. You can switch the TV off if you'd like, or you can say, okay, it's a different opinion than mine, but that's okay. What I think is really important is to find out why you are choosing whatever candidate you're choosing, and make sure it aligns with who you are on a very deep spiritual level. I disagree that we need to worry about our economy first. I think we need to worry about equality and equity. There is more than enough of everything in the world to go around. There's more than enough land, clean water, clean air, and food. Sadly, it's a very tiny percentage of the people that hold it all. If someone is fortunate enough to be very wealthy, I cannot understand why their focus will be on gaining more wealth when they have more than enough to be comfortable and satisfied and happy. I believe that that kind of borders on greed. If you're doing philanthropic work, if you're doing humanitarian work with the money you have, that's wonderful. But don't use that as an excuse. Okay, if I make more and more and more millions or billions or gazillions or whatever, I'll do more work. How about if I make some concessions about maybe my tax bracket or tax cuts, then other people will have a chance to have more also, and have what they need, not to be gazillionaires, to have what they need. There's a certain part of me that wonders, is it condescending to say, well, the more money I get, the more I can give away, rather than saying, let other people have an opportunity to be able to earn enough to support themselves and their families. If the environment's most important to you, find out what's going on. Find out who is supportive. Find out who is making policy and creating policies that harm the environment. In not just the environment, the welfare of animals and the earth. I find out who is supportive of domestic animal well-being and care, farm animal well-being and care, wild animals well-being and care. The damage being done now cannot always be repaired. When animals become extinct, that's it. If a part of our country or the world is contaminated beyond recovery, that's it for that area. If fracking or drilling is allowed on sacred sites, they cannot and will not recover. And because your religious or spiritual beliefs aren't in alignment with someone else's spiritual or religious beliefs, does not mean that you have the right to oppose your beliefs on that. Say, well, too bad if it's sacred land. It's not sacred to me. We can drill, we can do whatever, we can poison the waters. Look inside to see if that's your spiritual connection. What's happening to the environment? What's happening to the water and the air? So 7 generations will suffer for choices that are being made now. I know someone who says, I don't watch the news, I don't have to, I know who I like, and that's it. And that kind of just scares me, because how do you know what that person is doing, believing, saying, or planning? Having blinders on might allow you to think that you're off the hook as far as responsibility, because in spiritual life, everything you know, everything you learn and understand, you now have the responsibility to use. If you know that something is wrong, you have the responsibility to try to make it right. If you know that something is about to happen that will create harm for a great number of people, animals, the environment, or the earth, you have the responsibility to act on it, to do something about it. I have never been political, and I don't consider myself political now. I consider myself becoming more informed, trying to see the spiritual and the physical. Anger has come up in me, which is not a comfortable and familiar emotion. Concern, I think concern's a normal emotion, because that's what creates thoughts and helps you to make a plan and know what to do to take action. I have had some things triggered in me that were some thoughts that were not kind, and I had to check on them. Why is that triggering this in me? And it was a feeling of helplessness. I feel a little helpless to change the big picture, but I can change the small picture by becoming informed, by speaking about what I'm finding to be the truth, by asking other people, encouraging other people to find their own truth, not to necessarily support mine. One of my greatest concerns is when the media is referred to as the enemy of the people. That smacks of some previous horrible times in history. I won't even get into them, you know what I'm talking about. When someone says the enemy of the people and it's false media, they all, they're horrible people. That's why we had a U.S. journalist murdered. Talk like that will get more people killed, disrespected, abused, threatened, bullied. It went to murder. That's not just speaking badly about someone. Murder. I hope that is the only time that will happen in the last one. Something tells me it may not be. Following someone blindly because you are afraid to say, the person I chose did not do the things I had hoped. That's not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of reclaiming your free will. The big picture makes me wonder if people have given up their free will and will believe any lies told to them. I thought about using the word lies and said, maybe I'll say mistruths. No, lies. If you tell a lie often enough, people believe it must be true. This is the President of the United States. It must be true or he wouldn't be saying it. Come on, people, please do your research. Find a variety of news sources that have proven to be fair and balanced, not left, not right. Please find out what is going on. Find out the truth. In all communities, not just how it affects you, your family, your community, your income, your livelihood, your investment. If you voted for this person because you thought he would improve the economy, that didn't happen. But question your own motives. Is money more important than people being at peace, than people being kind to each other? As a school teacher, I would never have allowed any child or colleague, I wouldn't have expected it from any child or colleague, to insult people and name call the way this person, this supposed President of the United States is. I am careful not to call him my president. My opinion is that he did not get elected. My opinion is he is not acting in a fashion or manner that he deserves to be called a leader, which a president is supposed to be a leader that we entrust with our safety, our security, and our well-being. I do not entrust Donald Trump with any of those things. I am doing my best to have thoughts that things can turn around. The right people can influence him. But every day there's something else, a decision he makes that creates despair and concern in our country and in other countries. Every spiritual path says we're all equal. We're all created the same and equally. We all matter. We all should live harmoniously. Not the United States matters and no one else matters. Not money matters and nothing else matters. whatever your path is, whatever your view is, spiritually, bring it into your political decisions. I was a little uneasy sharing my opinion. I share it with friends, but here I am after 25 years of doing this show, this sacred journey. I've decided to get political. I've thrown a few things around when we had mass shootings about how I feel about gun control, but now I'm laying it on the line. Decide what's most important to you. Oneness with all, important to me. The environment, important. The environment has to support us all, not jobs. There will not be jobs if there aren't enough natural things around, natural resources for food. Look what's happening to farmers. We don't think twice about going to the grocery store and buying what we need. When our supply stops because farmers have to shut the family farm down that's been in generations and generations feeding people, we still don't notice because we go, oh, they send food in from Mexico. They send food in from Central America and South America. Decisions we make are affecting Central America, South America, Mexico. Something about free will and self-respect has gone by the wayside. You cannot blindly believe in someone because he tells you to, because he bullies you to. You cannot continue to believe in someone because they made a promise X number of years ago that they haven't fulfilled. Here's what he has fulfilled. Making America first, he's made that. Make America richer than everybody else, dominant over anyone else, so that people don't want to work with us, people don't want to cooperate with us, so that they will fear us. Fear is the opposite of love. Every spiritual path will tell you that. He is initiating, instilling, and inciting fear in people. Fear leads to violence. If you, we'll take immigration. If you say, all of these people are coming and they're invading, well, think of the word invade. You don't want an invasion of termites. You don't want an invasion of dangerous aliens. By aliens, I mean, the old Twilight Zone kind of thing. You don't want an invasion of anything. So if you use the word invasion, he is embedding and implanting a word in your subconscious. It's going to keep coming up for you. And then to say, these people that are coming, because of them, you won't have what you need. He's projecting that we live in a world of scarcity. We do not. We live in a world of abundance. There is plenty of everything for everyone. We need to learn to share. We need to learn to use only what we need and to make sure that everyone else has what they need. Food, water, air, clothing, shelter, medical care, everything. It astounds me that I am sitting here having this conversation with the camera in hopes that one little thing I say might trigger a response in you, an aha moment, an oh yeah moment. And I am sick of people going, oh, but this person from the past did that. We're not in the past. We are in the present moment. What we do will shape how we move forward. Who we entrust our lives with, that will shape us going forward. I am not willing to entrust my life to somebody who is greedy, mean-spirited, bigoted, judgmental, cruel, disrespectful, narcissistic. I'm sure there's a ton more words. Had I thought about it a little bit longer, I will not. I had to chuckle in watching some news the other day that Donald Trump said that Hunter Biden got into a job and is getting paid a lot that he had no experience in, and my jaw dropped. You, Donald Trump, stepped into a job that you had no experience on any level for, no political experience, and this is the state you've come to. Every time you lash out at someone, Donald Trump, please take a look at if Spirit is giving you an opportunity to look in the mirror to say, oh, wait a minute. Because it's believed by some people that when something comes up for us that we're thinking belongs to someone else, it's about us. I have tried to do my self-reflection because I did not like what was getting triggered in me. Anger, wishing things would happen to get this person out of office that were quicker than impeachment. But to Republicans, I'm not Democratic nor Republican. I want to state that right now. Throughout the years, I have voted both ways. Okay, I am not Republican nor Democrat. But I am speaking to Republicans now because I ask you, what is your fear in doing what you know to be right? I will not believe that many people in Senate or Congress or the House, I will not believe that many Republicans think what Donald Trump is doing is okay. That would be horrifying to think there are that many people that don't care about the welfare of all beings, that are greedy, that are narcissistic, that are mean-spirited, like Donald Trump. I do not believe that is everybody. So why do you not have the courage to say, I need to stop what is going on to the best of my ability? Stand up, be an adult, represent what you believe in, because you don't believe in what Donald Trump is doing. I would love a day that could come that we don't have two parties in our country, that we just have people, just people who feel differently about things. And then what we can do is just maybe go to a mediation table or a way of mediating. So I know that's a long, long way off. If I have upset you, and I've gotten to this point, you still watching, thank you. If I've upset you, I hope it's upset you in a way that you will consider some of the things I've said and find a way to find the spiritual in the political. I love this book by John O'Donohue, To Bless the Space Between Us. He has a beautiful prayer that from time to time I make sure that I read. This is called For One Who Holds Power. May the gift of leadership awaken in you as a vocation. Keep you mindful of the providence that calls you to serve. As high over the mountains the ego spreads its wings, may your perspective be larger than the view from the foothills. When the way is flat and dull in times of gray endurance, may your imagination continue to evoke horizons. When thirst burns in times of drought, may you be blessed to find the wells. May you have the wisdom to read time clearly and know when the seed of change will flourish. In your heart, may there be a sanctuary for the stillness where clarity is born. May your work be infused with passion and creativity and have the wisdom to balance compassion and challenge. May your soul find the graciousness to rise above the fester of small mediocrities. May your power never become a shell, wherein your heart would silently atrophy. May you welcome your own vulnerability as the ground where healing and truth join. May integrity of soul be your first ideal, the source that will guide and bless your work. I offer that to all leaders of all kind in all places. Thanks for joining us on this sacred journey. We'll catch you next time.